It's just emotions taking me over. I'm caught up in sorrow, lost in the song. But if you don't come back, come home to me, darling. Don't you know there's nobody left in this world to hold me tight? Don't you know there's nobody left in this world? Kiss goodnight. Good night.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your hectic schedules to just join us.
Yes.
Yeah, because that can get so hectic, hey?
Really.
It can really get hectic.
And we totally understand.
We do. And for that 10 minutes, 15 minutes that you listen to us every now and again, fit us in, and actually finish the whole episode, we really, really appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please subscribe and like.
Do.
If this is your vibe. Thank you.
Well, today I think we're going to discuss something really interesting. Something that I feel that it took us a while for us as a family to get to a point where we're comfortable with each other, and that's dating, you know?
Yeah.
How we grew up when it comes to dating is not, I think, the most, what's the word?
It's not most helpful. Like, it's not, it's very sensitized, but actually you don't really get the tools to navigate dating.
You don't.
Basically, you're not allowed to date.
In a nutshell, yeah. Because we grew up being told that if a boy touches you, you're going to fall pregnant.
Yes.
And it's taboo if a boy dares to touch you because it means a million years of bad luck. He'll never get married, and it's just forbidden.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
only those girls, like the worst girls, like
You were
only
naughty.
those girls. Yeah.
You were like disgusting if you dated. You were like you were just in jail. I don't even know what to call you, but you were that person in society that was not even allowed to be talked about. You were not even an example if you tried to date or even started dating. But I also think it's because we were raised by people who are also not educated when it comes to dating as well. So they did their best to raise us a certain way so that we can become the woman that we are today. So what they did, they thought that was the best way to raise us, to make us scared of situations. Whereby I disagree with that now, because I don't think you have to make someone scared. I think you just have to put down their options and let them know that, listen, if you do this, this is what's going to happen, Everything has an input and everything has an outcome as well. So I think you just need to let your child or whoever you're raising at that time, be your niece, your nephew, know that whatever they decide they're going to do, there's always going to be an outcome for whatever it is that they decide to invest their time, effort, and mind in.
Yes.
So we were raised by women who literally thought telling us to be scared of boys and dating was the best way to go about it, because then we wouldn't focus on boys.
Yeah. So very much so. I remember feeling guilty for someone hitting on me. I remember like constantly feeling like that's something that you can't share with your parents, and that's something that you must be ashamed of. Like, why did they see me as someone that they can hit on? Like, it's your fault. Even one occasion, I remember there was this guy who lived a couple of houses up from my house, and he always would, as guys do, he'd hit on me, or he'd be like, oh, can I walk you home, etc., etc. And then this one time he was like, it was a time where you could get like movies on the USB. He's like, oh, can I come and get movies on the USB at your house? I'm like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. I didn't think much of it. So he came, he stood outside, got movies, and then my parents came home, and my dad was pretty much like, why here? Who do you know here? Wazbala. And then the guy left, and he's like, oh, so you like talk to guys and you bring guys over. So at the time, I'm glad I didn't feel too guilty, because I was like, he just stood outside.
Yeah,
but I did feel, but I did feel a level of guilt. Yo, this guy, I'm stay away from him. So from then on, I never would entertain his walking you home, anything, right? I never entertained any of his friendship, whether even if I was carrying plastics or whatever, I was just not got off a taxi carrying I'm not going to entertain him.
Yeah.
Because I feel like dating in itself, in and of itself, just talking to boys was just wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's also how I looked at it.
I can't remember his name.
Now I need to know because I need cool bodies in the
He was,
but anyway,
a non, you know,
I think she felt
unqualifiable, yes.
yeah. Like, I mean, when was that? Grade what? If you can recall.
Grade 9.
Grade 9. Yeah, I would say that's when you should start dating. But yeah, I think we can classify ourselves as late bloomers per se.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everybody has a different definition of everything.
Yeah.
So I would categorize us in that.
Yeah, we definitely.
We were late bloomers.
Yeah.
I mean, we were never the. Nowadays they say baddies. We were never baddies.
We wore very long skirts to school. We came home from school. We don't hang around.
Loved it.
Never tried to make your uniform look sexy, which was a thing in our school. Our schools, all of them actually, like from Christian school area, people used to cut it. No, we weren't doing that.
No.
And also just being home before a specific time. That was a thing for us because
we had deadlines.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had curfews rather. Not deadlines per se, but curfews.
And also, I remember you would get Valentine's gifts. Did you feel the need to hide them? Or
yes, I felt like, how dare you look at me like that and even think I need to
take this home.
Yeah, and besides even taking it home, I'm thinking to myself, people, why is this person even looking at me in a way that you would think I deserve a Valentine's gift? How dare you give me a Valentine's gift? When you look at me, what do you see? I mean, I just felt like, how was that necessary for you to do?
Yeah.
You could have just said you love me to yourself in your little corner while looking at yourself in the mirror. You could have just practiced, I do not want this gift. Why are you giving me this gift, you know? I was also thinking about that. Then I'm also thinking, must I take this gift home? And then say, where did it come from? Exactly. So it was like,
exactly.
I keep it.
Sure.
I don't need it. If you say you love me, great stuff, then love me from a distance, not here, not next to me, not in form of gifts, you know. So that was then the language that I spoke. And then I think that also, to be quite honest, I think when someone came to me and they gave me a Valentine's Day gift, it was like, okay, my daddy does that all the time, so what? You're giving me this what as a gesture, as a token of what appreciation, as a token of, oh, I can do better. Boy, you cannot do better than my dad.
Yeah.
You know? So it was like...
Even chocolate. I think chocolate was a thing that you always got rid of.
Yeah. Yeah, so my dad tried by all... So, he was trying to just be a dad, you know? He was trying to make me enjoy the nicer things in life.
Yeah.
The things that he can afford, you know? Then you come... as a boy, and you say I love you, then you give me chocolate. Like my dad gave me that last week, yesterday. Like, what are you here to? Like, I'm not even trying to say what are you offering because that's not the language I'm even speaking. I'm thinking to myself, so exactly why are we doing this again?
Yeah,
so there's
that's why.
Yeah, so it's like there's no need to date because I get this from my dad. So why are we even doing this? Because it's not necessary, clearly, you know. So that's the mentality I had when it comes to dating. It was like something that we did not to be entertained. It was actually taboo. Yeah. How dare you speak of dating? Yeah.
And even because we grew up in the chatting era, so we grew up in maybe sort of BBM, Mixit, those kind of things. That even like giving a guy your number, if you feel so guilty, even if sometimes you do it, and maybe it's just a friendly gesture, you just felt so guilty. Like, your mom's gonna find us, someone's gonna find us a car, and then what's gonna happen? What are you gonna say?
I remember this one time. Remember, we used to write letters to each other.
Yeah.
So we used to have them in heart shape. Remember, there was even ways of folding letters to, from, where, place, message.
Yeah.
And then you draw those lines and you say, if honey, what if hello was honey, I would squeeze it in my mouth.
Yes, and even choosing one of the sides depending on
which one is. So that was not like I love you on the, you know, but we did that as girls amongst each other, you know, and then whatever you want to say to your friend, you will obviously put it in a letter, You would articulate yourself in a letter and just, type it out there and say, "Good see, friend, this is what we're going." So I remember this one time, a friend of mine at that time wrote me a letter. Then she gave it to me on Friday. And I was so tired when I got home that I literally passed out with the letter in my hand and it was in my bed. I passed out. My mom came in my room. Then she decided to read the letter. Obviously, the letter has a to and from.
Yeah.
So now she knows who wrote the letter. She knows who is writing this to me, right? Then she reads it from to all the way to "Love you, friend" at the end.
Yeah.
Then she decided.
Love you.
No, but the love you was innocent because it was a girl.
So, yeah. And then, I love you, friend.
Yeah. Then she decided to. So embarrassing. Then she decided to tell my then friend's mom. She roped her in on it as well. Right? She roped her in on it as well. Then the next thing when I wake up, I'm waking up from deep sleep. I'm like, oh, what a nap. Because Fridays are great for napping after school. They were great for napping.
They were
great. So I'm coming out of this power nap, powered up, ready to wash my uniform because it's the weekend and have my life sorted because it's the weekend, Right? Not girl coming here and saying, so who's so and so?
Wow.
Excuse you, how do you even know who's this, is that? And then I look at she literally read it and left the letter exactly where she found it.
Oh.
So when I woke up, I don't notice that she read the letter. And then because she put it back right back where it was, even though it might not be the exact spot, but it was exactly where she found it. Then she said, "Who's this? Who's that?" So you guys are talking about feelings now. So basically, the letter was telling me that the friend had a feeling for this guy at school. So she's like, yes. So now she's like, oh, so you guys have feelings now. I'm like, oh, lordy. This is not even my fight because it was somebody confiding in me. And obviously, I hadn't responded to my friend yet, and I'm thinking, should I even respond? Not me being so embarrassed, having to explain what was happening.
Yeah. Also now the friend's mom
being roped in, right? That's
so basically it was like you're wrong for having feelings.
Yeah. How dare you have feelings? What are feelings? What do you know of feelings?
Yeah.
So I think that was also another way that they were trying to protect us. But it was crazy because I also feel like what was wrong with her there, not just sitting me down and say, okay, this is going to happen. You're going to see a man and maybe you're going to enjoy his company, the way he talks, the way he is. Don't be alarmed. This is the situation.
And our moms had us, so we know they have interaction with men. So
it's like we have quite a few siblings.
Yeah.
So
we have
siblings. So it's not to say that we are the first and last kids, No, we have siblings. We're just the last ones. Yeah, we just have we're just the last ones really. So that was us dating, and I think that was in grade 8.
Is it?
Yeah, I think that was in grade 8 or grade 9, somewhere there. That was like yeah. You guys have feelings now. So I don't remember how that ended, but we basically stopped writing letters to each other. Okay, diary, but she read my diary too.
So. That's like our introduction to dating. It was very much you're not allowed to date. Sounds like fun. But then there's also the fact that we were both also kind of co-raised by the church at different times. My family didn't really go to church earlier, but later they went. And you guys have been consistent throughout. But the church also played a role, I think, in giving us this fear-based dating.
They did.
Scared you if you even sniff it, you'll mess up. If you even look a guy's way, if a guy even looks like, there was just so much sensorization around it. And I think it also makes it like something that you want to touch because you're told don't touch and you want to touch it. But then instead you're scared because you've been told all these things that are like, if you just dare,
Then there's Elo also in the midst of
There's
that.
Elo. So you're just scared. I remember when I was in later high school, I went to church conferences at the Lutheran Church. And we were hammered with the message that a young person in Christ, because Umusha is like a youth of the church.
The church, yeah.
Does not date. You just get married. That somehow, somewhere,
God will fix it.
God
will sort it out. The same way God created Adam and Eve. That's the same way God has created your husband. God knew you.
Yes.
So your husband is going to come into your life. The same way you go into your bedroom and sleep, knowing very well that you'll be woken up in the morning, is the same way God is going to provide you with a husband. That's basically what it was. That's what it was. We never even spoke about dating in a platform where there was both girls and boys in youth conferences.
Exactly.
You know
just that.
Yeah.
Yes, they would separate you guys.
They would literally separate us, as if something is wrong with us being together. And I also feel like that also made us scared. It was okay. So what's this thing that they're making us aware of but don't want to tell us directly, And I feel like because they held that back, it also prevented us from knowing how to date.
Yeah.
Of understanding what dating is.
Exactly.
We
100%.
We misunderstood dating. I personally misunderstood dating. Yeah. I did not know what dating was until at a very later stage in my life. And I'm like, this is actually dating. You know, it doesn't mean because people are courting you that you're now this woman that has no morals and scruples. Like your moral compass is absolutely negative, That's how society, or rather the society I grew up, painted everything as. Because it was painted as if dating is like, how dare you have people courting you at your age? You shouldn't be having that. You shouldn't even have 5 men courting you, That is just absolutely immoral, And then they would give you names for it, There were names given to such women that were courted. There were like the woman that wants attention. There were names given for that. So you tried hard not to be that woman.
Yeah.
Not to be that girl. Now they're called baddies. But nowadays we understand what dating is. We understand it so much clearer now, because we understand that just because I'm sitting here and there's 5 other guys that are hoping to start a relationship with me, it doesn't mean that I have to give them my time. Doesn't mean that I have to now engage in any sexual activities with them. Doesn't mean that I even have to entertain their calls. It basically means that they're trying to show me how interested they are in starting a relationship with me.
And that's
sad. And they haven't started one. That's dating. It's literally just somebody courting you. I mean, we all watch Bridgerton, where you have that session in their lives where they go to balls, they advertise themselves by literally like dancing in a room with other men that come to you and give you drinks and say, oh, here's a drink, lady, here's a drink. And then the next thing, the following day, you're sitting at home with your mom and your maid, and then men call in for you. Men come into your mother's house, or your father's house rather, and they say they want to have a conversation with you. They'll sit here, you have a conversation with them, and that's basically dating. When a man is courting you and you're giving him an ear, that is basically dating. It doesn't mean that I now have rather 5 different boyfriends. Relax yourself. It's just me dating, finding out who has what to offer. If I'm interested in anyone, it's like having a conversation on Mixit.
It's like having a conversation. There's nothing wrong with someone asking you, what are your preferences? What do you like?
Because there's also nothing wrong with somebody somebody showing their affection by actually sending you a gift, which is a gesture. So somebody might say, you know what, they bring you a plant. They will tell you maybe the reason I'm bringing you a plant is because I would like us to grow something together. You never know the reason behind those gestures, So when they're given to you, you shouldn't take them like, I imagine you being offended by how dare they come. Yes, agreed. Some gestures might be too harsh. Some might be too forward. Some might be too sexually, I don't know what's the word. But basically, with that being said, some are just too much.
Yes.
But those gestures literally assist and they guide you in knowing what's the intention of the person that is coming to you with that gesture. You know. So now imagine if you don't have that platform to do that.
Exactly.
And you just jump straight into marriage. Like you would jump to a conclusion.
I think from that I have two theories that might not be true.
Yeah.
But I think because of being sensitized, overly scared of dating because of our parents, I was scared right into varsity, well into my adult years actually.
Yeah.
And because of the church telling me and teaching me that maybe someday my husband's just going to pray and my face is going to pop up in his dreams. And he's going to say, God said,
this is the woman.
This is the woman. It puts us in two predicaments. The one predicament is when we do start dating, I found this is true of my life. I did too much. Because I didn't know how to do the too little or the getting to know, like what you say, someone's just texting me or I'm just receiving a gift. I was trying to pour out and find myself in this relationship. I did too much. And also because my tools for staying, like abstaining, maybe they were like, you must stop talking to a guy at 8 p.m. You must I had so many rules in my life. Like you must never wear certain things. You must
because they'll attract men.
Yeah, you'll attract men and it puts you back in the same situation. And then also, like if you're talking to one guy, you can't give the other guy your number. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then at the same time, all of that put me in a situation where I'm not equipped to now look at like, what is your character? Who are you as a person? Do you stick to your word?
Yeah.
And if you send me scriptures, then it means you're Christian and it's sorted. And if you've said God said, then there's something that also there's something that's there. And then I'm either like I'm not really getting to know you, and then I do too much when I do try to get to know you. And that's another risky area that we'll talk about. And then that other area is that you could marry someone because you think or you like, oh, this guy has said, and you have not assessed them. So like the one area is like you could do too much in dating because you're scared of doing too little.
Yeah.
So you don't know how to do it. You're like, oh, I'm finally able to eat this apple. I'm going to eat 10 apples. Or you're like, which often happens. Like
it does.
My friend also said that Christian girls often fall pregnant the most because we'll never be prepared. So a person who's like, I'm prepared to have sexual intercourse comes prepared. We're never prepared. So we're like, oh my word, what is even happening? And
that's very true.
Yeah, I heard this one girl say that because they were standing, she thought nothing was really happening, and then she was like, "Oh my god, am I pregnant?" Also, or you end up like in these messy situations where you're like ready to marry someone, but you're like, it's not make sure.
Yeah,
because you don't have you just don't know how.
You don't know how to even assess someone as a person that you want to spend your life with, a companion. Because you were never given those tools. It makes like that's really true. What you just said is really profound because you can't go to war without a helmet on. You know, you can't go to war not knowing what you're going to do. You can't go out the door because even if you go out the door, you know whether it's hot outside. You think it's hot. You think it's cold. You know. But now, if you were to just wake up in the morning in your PJs and go outside. You don't do that. You would never do that. You have a routine. You go and you take a shower, you smell good, you feel good, you wear your good feeling clothes, and you then step out the world, depending on the season as well. If it's summer, you wear your summer dresses, you wear whatever you feel like wearing that makes you feel like summer, that makes you feel like winter.
Yeah.
But now, why don't we then apply the same thing to dating?
Yeah.
You know, so we didn't know that that's how you have to look at dating. We didn't know that that's what dating is, you know, until. Well, we were talking about this the other time because our cousin was drum roll. So our cousin, we had a cousin who literally understood what dating is.
Yeah.
She understood it to the T. Like she I swear, if I haven't Like if Netflix were to invest in another documentary, I'd say we can invest in her and make her life. She will teach you how. So at that time, we had that mindset that we just told you about. Imagine fear. That's all. We see a boy, we run. You touch me, how dare you? You look at me a certain way, how? You'll see hell and all of it. So now here comes our cousin. She's vibrant. She's amazing. She's energetic. She knows what she wants. She's super confident. Confidence is not even a word. Yeah. It's like, I don't know what's the word to describe how she was, but she oozed all confidence that could ever exist, that you would ever think of and know of, in all types and forms. And then she would always affirm something. At that time, we were not so big on affirmations, right?
We didn't know that.
We did not know. But she will constantly repeat something that I think hyped her up. She'll say, I'm beautiful.
All the time. It was awkward. It was
awkward
back then, but now it's like, okay, no.
It's okay now. Now affirmation is a thing, right?
Yeah.
So, but then it was like, okay, we heard you.
Yeah.
At some point I was like, girl, do you? If she does not say, I'm beautiful, I'll say it for her. I'm like, don't forget you're beautiful. She'll be like, obviously, of course, nobody is more beautiful than me. You understand? That was her affirming herself. But okay, let's backtrack a little bit before we knew what affirmation was, before we understood that. So she would date.
Yeah. Like date several courtships.
She would date. And literally men would come to the gate and fetch her. They would come bearing gifts. Listen, we were also recipients of those gifts.
Yeah.
We were recipients of those gifts. Yes. I mean, we got chocolates.
Willie's Black Forest cake.
Listen, that's how we were introduced to Woolworths, because we were Woolworthsing every day.
Yeah.
Like we were Woolworthsing Woolworths juice.
Then you'd also have it for lunch because she brought some.
Listen, we had Woolworths bread. We had Woolworths. We were speaking Woolworths. Everything about us was so Woolwortsy. Yeah. Like you couldn't come for us with anything else. We ate Woolworths chicken. We had Woolworths cake. We had
bread rolls.
Listen, we were having Ferrero Rochers, darling.
Right. We were actually our Ferrero Rocher.
We were having Ferrero Rochers. That's how confident she was with herself. That's how her courting game was.
Yeah. Strong.
Very strong. I mean, she would have a lot of men. You would be so confused. Like, so
which one? Is this a friend?
And then you're like, so what about... At some point, I think I just stopped asking. And when she came to us with like something, a story or something about someone who did something, we'd be like, Then in my head, I would ask, Nqobile, who's that again? Oh, okay, it's that one. Yeah, it's that one. Then when she introduces you to some of them, you're like, I really don't want to be introduced to them, but because they bought me chocolates, then
right?
I need to say thank you at some point, So, I think that's when we were like, oh, okay.
There's a thing called dating that you don't need to fear, and she was brave. She was doing it like, at home. She was bringing the guys fetch from home, the same home we were scared of. And what I loved about her is that she'd be attached, but not too attached.
No.
She wouldn't be attached to the point where she'd approach it like, no matter what this guy does, I'll stick around. No. She was not that person. The girlie was like, if you're not making me happy anymore, if you're not giving me the thing that, why am I still here? And she also, again, she affirmed herself so much. And so I think the belief was there that I'm beautiful, I'm young, I'm vibrant, I'm all of these things. And I come confident. So how dare I not receive what I wanted to receive at this table? And how dare I stay if it's no longer being served?
That's exactly what she was, actually, if you think about it. Because I would never hear her say that I had to endure this. I had to understand this. If she decided to endure something, it's because she wanted to. Not because somebody convinced her to. Because she wanted to. She didn't stay if she didn't want to. If she didn't want to. She didn't, like you said, if it was not served, she did not stay at that table.
Yeah.
She opted to leave and go somewhere else. Not because she felt she did have a choice. She wanted to have those choices. And my dear, those choices were there.
Yeah.
Those choices were there. And with that being said, I think I personally saw that in her, and I thought that was a lot to deal with. You know, for me personally, I thought there was a lot, but that's because of what I had known then. You know, so it was a combination of this and that while learning that. So with me, funny enough, I also never dated immediately, but when I started dating, it was I started dating. I started dating, and it was a big flop. Like, it was a mistake.
Okay.
No, not really. I feel like it was a mistake. I feel like it was noise. I feel like empty vessel. I feel like it was not necessary. But I guess we all have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
You know? And I feel like, okay, I have no lesson from that relationship. I don't even think we can call it a relationship.
Yeah.
I think we can just say, like, you know how you have a meal, you say, I just had my starters?
Yeah.
I think it's an entree.
Yeah.
It was just one of those, like, okay, I had it. Great stuff. We broke up. Okay. Then that wasn't even a heartache when we broke up. It wasn't even a heartache. Okay, bye. I don't want you anymore, I think. It's like, okay. Then it was done. Right? Then the first real relationship, because I don't think I can call that a relationship. The first real relationship I'd say was with the father of my child. Yeah, that was my first real relationship that I had.
Because it's actually a
relationship. That was the first one. And then obviously it ended in tears.
And some do.
No, we can laugh about it now. Yeah, we can laugh.
Definitely.
We can laugh about it now. Of course there were good times. Of course there were great times, you know. I mean, we got such a handsome boy out of it. A really handsome boy, smart, handsome boy. You know, we got that out of it. That was one of our amazing achievements together, I think, ever. Like, even in our lives, as we continue to achieve things, that like, he was one of the best gifts we've ever received.
Yeah.
With that being said, it doesn't take away the good things we had, the fallout we had, you know. But yeah, that was my first relationship, and at that time, I was also trying to learn myself, you know, about what I want, what I don't want. But the one thing that I wish I had then was knowing how to.
Right.
Knowing how to.
Oh, my
because
word.
if I knew how to date, I would know that it's okay to have a different opinion than your partner. It's okay for you to say, no, I don't want to do that really. And, you know, he doesn't have to, because sometimes when someone sees that you're timid, they say, okay, so she's weak, Lapaya. I'll come through with that.
Yes.
You know, they'll then attack you where you're most weak. You know? Even though you know that you're outspoken, you know your story. Yes. But when it comes to dating, you cannot. You don't know how to. You don't know how to sound like as a person that does not want to do something. You don't know how to be honest with your partner.
Yes. Like, how does he respond?
How you supposed to respond?
Yes. How you supposed?
And then the next thing they tell you about something you're not comfortable doing because of the person that you are, and then and how you grew up. And also, you're still learning yourself. Because how are you in this dating thing? What is dating? Then you're supposed to be in a relationship, and then you're supposed to act a certain way. So now you're thinking, okay, if he says let's go to a movie, I guess I'm gonna say it, but I'm thinking I really don't want to go to a movie because this is how I feel about it, and it's gonna put me in this position, and I don't want to be in that position.
Wow.
You understand? But you don't have that tool to say, in a relationship, what do you do when you want to say no, but you want to say it politely? You don't want to be so, you know, it sounds like you're attacking someone, but you want to be polite about it. To say, you know what, I don't think that's what I would like to do.
Yes.
You know, but you don't want to shoot them down at the same time. So you end up saying yes to things that are not you or things that are not within your character, and you now start behaving out of character. I think that's the sad part about it, that in some things that you start acting out of character, then later on in your life you say, if only I knew how to, I would have probably left earlier and never allowed myself to get to this point, because that was absolutely a whole lot of nothing. Yeah, you know.
Just noise.
You could have literally just said, that was a whole lot of nothing. And because a whole lot of nothing, I'm on leave.
Yeah.
You know, we could have done that. But because the tools.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to highlight
the
that
tools. I didn't have the tools. I also definitely didn't have the tools. I didn't date in high school at all.
Yeah, you didn't.
At all.
I'm
like,
also kind of like the
Then I went to university, and at some point I think I became a bit of a feminist. I was like, and also that's when I really became stronger in my faith. So I'm so exposed already from home to this like fear dating culture. Then I get exposed to like churches, like the more charismatic churches, and then they speak about submission. I'm like, submit to men. They spoke about like, what does waiting look like, and they also came with a 10,000 rule book. So for me, I just was like, avoid the whole topic. I think I had a crush throughout varsity on this one guy. This one guy, and I had seen him at a Christian setting, and he had prayed. And his Facebook statuses used to be like, Christians should not fornicate. And I was just like, this is him, Lord, it's my husband. Shining his hand. I was convinced. I didn't need more convincing. And I remember towards the end of university, I had a lady who was in the same Christian community, but she was mentoring me. So we went out for coffee, and I said to her, I've got a crush on this guy. I thought she'd be so excited for me. She was like, I don't like the guy's character. What? And I was like, character? What is character? Because for me, this guy
is Christian.
Puts statuses on Facebook about he would never sleep with anyone. Later on, years folded, so many girls had histories with him. It was always in the church, but like so many girls. So he broke my heart. And also, like, I remember in final year, I lived at the Baptist house. I no longer lived in May, so you could have visitors. And then he said he wanted to visit me, and I was like, oh, sure, fine. Even bought juice. You know how expensive juice is when you're a student? Woolies juice. Because I was also like starting to try and become more healthy, so I didn't always have juice. So when he said he's coming, I bought juice. I went to Woolies and bought juice. He never came.
First and foremost, she went to Woolies
to buy juice for this guy.
Not anywhere else.
Yeah. And also, I'm living in this house with other students, so people ask, can I have some of your juice? I'm like, no, because I knew
who's coming
to have my juice.
Who got the juice? Who got the juice?
Guy doesn't come. He never comes. Then one day, he's like, can I come? It's like 10 p.m. And I'm like,
ungodly hours.
I don't know. Are we gonna stand outside? Like
you're trying to figure out what to say.
Because I also don't know how to say no.
Exactly.
Like, I'm timid.
Yes.
So as well, I'm like, and we're always having this debate. Then he ended up saying it's fine, he won't come. Because I was also like, hey, I'm not sure.
Like,
and then the next day, he's like, I went to the booth at work. So he started working before us. But I had met him while he was still studying. So I probably was like first year of work, whatever. I just booth at work and prayed and repented. So I thought, you see, God, he's a good guy. He's not a good guy. He also came at 10. He's pretending to have repented. Then he kept asking me, like, what did I think of 50 Shades of Grey? Like, he was always dodged, but I just didn't see it.
Yeah.
Then when I started working, he did take me on one date. And on that date, he was like, can we go to his car? And I was like, oh, sure, we're probably going to go to another location. I didn't have a car yet. And then we went to his car and he's like, can we make out? And I was like, Jesus. But for a moment, I considered. For a moment, I was like, maybe God is like. But the part that made me not consider was the part where I was like, there's also a lot of girls who have your name on their tongue. So I'm no longer trusting you like I used to. But at the time, I still did. I used to even pray, God, take away the emotions. God, don't take away. God was like, deal with this.
Fix yourself, baby girl. Fix yourself.
See what I'm presenting you with. And also, so around about then, he broke my heart. Also, in varsity, he made me cry. So around about the time when he was like, I'm coming, I'm not coming. Then like a couple days later, he's like, I'm sorry, I actually have a girlfriend. Did I not cry? I remember crying. And I journaled and I said, God, I'm so sorry for idolizing this guy.
Yeah.
So then I started working, and I didn't date. And as silly as I was, I disclosed to people. People I thought they were friends.
Yeah.
They're like, oh guys, I'm a virgin. I believe in waiting until marriage. So these guys started setting up a bait to be like, I'm gonna get with that girl.
Oh, so it was like,
She's not going to stand with her Christian values.
we
At
want to
the time,
test this
right?
Christianity, yes. Because they always want to do that for some good reason,
Love it.
unknown reason, that is just beyond me. But that's a topic
Yeah.
for another day. Why people
Topic
always
for
want to
another day.
test.
You are high and
Christians.
mighty. Why do you think you're better?
Yeah, they
So-
always want to do that. I think that's kind of okay, but that's a topic for another day.
Then I started sort of dating, but it was a situationship. It wasn't a relationship.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was not in a good space with God because I had felt like there was a module that I was supposed to clear very easily, and it just didn't clear. And I had to go write us up, and I'm starting to work, and I'm like, oh, God, what's gonna happen? I just felt like, God, you were like, this was not supposed to happen. Like, everyone else's part was easier, mine was not. And I also felt like as soon as I started trusting you, that's when my academic life got harder. I was cruising academically before. I trusted you.
So you started
So
questioning your
yeah,
faith.
and then this other guy had disappointed me, so I didn't
Yeah.
care as much anymore. So for a year, this guy tried to get with me, never happened. Then the following year, we started our situationship, and I fell in love. Like, I thought I was so in love with this guy. Even my brother said, I don't think this guy means well for you, but I just couldn't see it. I could not see it.
Yeah.
He had parents that were Christian, that he came from a very Christian background, he spoke Christianese, but the values, looking back, none of the values, none of the character, the actions, they were not giving. And this guy and me, like, we just started this situationship that was messy because we were like, we're besties, and if no one marries us, we'll marry each other. We're each other's backups. I remember that's what he said. And again, it's that thing of like, you're young, you don't know yourself well yet, so you're finding yourself and you don't know how to say no. And around about then, I think I was around about 23, 24, and I'm like that person who's like, I think I know myself, but truth be spoken, and also scientifically, we probably know ourselves better around 27, around there, and upwards, some younger for others, it's obviously not equal, but like, I just did not know myself. And I didn't have the tools to date. I didn't know, like, should I actually even commit to this guy? Is he good? When should he come over? When should I go to his place? Should I never do that? Can we go to movies? Can I say no to that? And that land, and we also used to like, oh, I can drive you here, I can drive you there. Before I got my car, even when I got my car, then the situationship continued. And he was like, other girls do this and this, even Christian girls, but you don't put out. And he always used to challenge me on that. And then at some point, he was like, what, actually, I'm done with this. And I felt like I was losing in life. Like, this was the next thing. This was the backup. This was the, like, if that other thing didn't work, with that this should work. And I gave in to doing so much with him, slowly but surely. And for him, it was just winning a bet. For me, it was like my life was in shambles.
Yeah.
I remember feeling so dirty. Like, God, what's going to happen to me? I'm like the most sinful person. How can I have slept with this guy? What's wrong with me? I was supposed to be very virgin because that was like my value.
Now you compromise that for someone.
And for someone who was a bit.
Yeah.
It was just a joke. Because after that, he told me his parents wouldn't approve of us, whatever. But I remember just knowing there's time to pull out anyway. So I pulled out the relationship. And even my experience of that was just horrible. I didn't even enjoy it. I was like, this is horrible.
Unbelievable. His parents in there as challenging.
Yes, like they wouldn't approve of us. And I remember the time I started going back to church and doing like prison ministry because I felt like I can relate to prisoners. Because I'm such again, it's those tools. We don't have the tools to say, God is actually not condemning you. Go say sorry and continue and pick up and maybe don't do it that way. Get the tools. And also it's okay to start dating once you know yourself.
Yeah, it really is okay. Because I think when you know yourself, you are more, I don't know, you're best equipped to know how to deal with things. Because when you know it's okay, this is not what I want. It's easier for you to relate yourself and say, listen, I like you. I really do. But now the thing is, when it comes to this, it does not allow me.
Yes.
My spiritual being does not allow me. My mental health does not allow me. My whatever it might be that does not allow you to do whatever it is that is presented to you, you are able to say it upfront that this is not for me. It's not me. I prefer if we do this. However, if you feel that that's also too much for you, listen, you're more than welcome.
To leave.
you're more than welcome to leave. And also, you should be allowed. I feel like within a relationship, be it a boy or girl or girl, be it friendship, because that's also a form of a relationship.
Yes.
You can also become victim of being bullied when you don't know yourself in a friendship. Your friend can bully you into things that at the end of the day, they might affect you more than it does them.
Yes.
Because they're so used to it. It's not something that's brand new to them. It's not something that is not ordinary to them. To you, it's something new, something you don't know. And maybe you try it and you get hurt because it's something that is new to you and you don't know it. And then it affects you in the long run. So with every relationship, it's a good thing to know yourself.
It is.
It's imperative. You need to know who you are.
That's like,
and I think, as you said, it's very important once you start dating to know yourself, because there's so many things that you are not going to tolerate.
Once you know yourself.
Once you know yourself.
Yeah.
Because there's also this thing, a corner, right, in society that know your worth thing. I think that is literally gaslighting, saying settle.
Yes, true.
It's just saying settle.
Yeah.
Whatever we give you, just settle it. Men are the price now.
Yeah.
I mean, well
just
done,
settle.
men. You guys are the price now. Like literally, you guys are the price, because now like men want to be girls now. They want to be courted. They want to be given gifts now. They want to be, not necessarily man.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I feel like we've lost our position. If you go back to the Bible, God's intention when He created heaven and earth, it was for Jesus.
Yes.
Right? With that being said, He said, "Let me create man to live in this creation of man." Right? I'm gonna create something. I'm gonna call it man. I'm gonna breathe into it life, and it's going to live under my rules, and it's going to do what I want it to do. I'm creating it for this specific purpose. Then later on you realize, you know what, they might be lonely. Let me get another man, but this one will be a womb man. They will carry everything. Wisdom will be her. Wisdom will lie on this part.
Yeah.
When they go to sleep, she's going to whisper wisdom to him.
Yeah.
So that when he goes out to the world, he sounds like a profound man. He sounds like a man of good stature who knows what he's doing. But at the end of the day, it's because of the wife that he has.
Yeah, that's so important.
That was how it was supposed to be. Then it was supposed to be, men were supposed to be the head of the churches. Women were supposed to sit on the side and just be quiet and listen. And we've shifted drastically. We've shifted.
Some of the shifts are good.
They're good. But the bittersweet about certain things is that they're good, but there's always going to be a but on the other side.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it's a great thing to see women now being so open about God. It's a great thing to see women speaking up about God, women in ministry. It's great to see.
Yeah.
It's great to watch. It's great because you realize how wisdom really lies in a woman.
Yeah.
Because when a woman when they're in a podium and they start speaking about God, that's when you realize, that's why God said to us, give your heart to me and I'll give it to the man who I see is worthy of this heart. Because the minute we start speaking about God, you can tell that we are literally testifying about something that we know. So the minute you put that's why he even says, the only time I'll allow you to submit to anything else is when you get married.
Yeah.
Then I can
that man.
Yes, then I can be number 2. And my thing is, because we've shifted so much from that, everything is now messed up.
Yeah.
Everything is now messed up. Now, when a man loves you genuinely, and when a man is courting you genuinely, and when a man is showing certain good and great gestures in your life, it's questioned. It's questioned.
Why is such a simp?
What is this nonsense?
You're
You
a
can't
simp
love a
by
woman like this.
African.
Exactly.
African spices.
African, they dealt with it traditionally. So it's always that, and it's not always the case. be smart about it. I'm not saying that it's not there, you know, but I'm saying it's not always the case. Don't be so blindsided to thinking that everything needs to be black and white.
Yeah.
You know, some things there's more color. It's not always monochrome.
It's not.
It's not always monochrome.
Yeah, it's not always good, bad.
Mm-mm.
It can also be, is it suitable to me?
It can be. And it can generally be great.
Does this work? Yeah.
It can
be great.
great.
Out of the world great.
It can generally be great. You can literally enjoy someone's company,
Yeah.
and you now know better.
Yeah.
You now have made yourself. Even though every day is a self-development, every day you learn something new about yourself.
Yes.
Every other day you are being tested and you're being put in certain positions that make you meet the new you or another version of yourself. That's fine. But as you grow and as you develop as a human being, because you're supposed to, because I mean, we don't look the same way we looked when we were 2 months, do we? So as we grow with age, so should wisdom grow with us. So there are tools. You know when they say put on the full armor, put the helmet.
I love it.
There are tools of life, and with life,
shield.
You need to also take it like that. Put on your full armor.
You
need to understand that, okay, when I'm in a relationship, it doesn't mean, Zethu, that you can no longer love Jesus. Exactly. It doesn't mean you're going to compromise your faith.
Yes.
No. And as my quota, you shouldn't see it as when you come to me and you say, Nqobile, I'm not a friend of God. And don't worry, I'm not going to be intimidated by that. And I'm going to ask you, do you know who God is?
Yeah.
You know, if you feel like I'm now preaching or it's another fellowship situation, then please, by all means, stick to your peace. Guard your heart, you know? And then say, you know, no, this is not for me.
Yeah.
Because now I'm not going to compromise my faith.
Exactly.
You know? So I feel like that is also another part of a relationship that people need to understand, that it's okay to like someone and they like you back. But because of certain things in life,
it's not going to work.
It's not going to work out.
Yes.
It's not going to work out because if you can't reach a place in your relationship where you can both say, you can compromise.
Exactly.
And not compromise in a way that it hurts the other.
Doesn't shift who you are.
It doesn't.
Just the slides.
So if you can, I say it's better to bend than to break. You know. But if the bending is going to end up breaking you, then leave it. Leave it before it gets to a point where it hurts you. Because remember, sometimes when you're bending, it's you, when you allow such things, it means that it's a part of you is going to take a step back.
Yeah.
You know, I think Chris explained it better after his divorce. You know, he said, in a marriage, it's like a band.
Yeah.
Remember, someone is going to be playing the tambourine one day,
which feels insignificant.
Yeah, but it's playing. It's playing its part.
It is.
Because without the tambourine, the person that is now currently singing and who has a spotlight on them might not hear things clearly. Because that tambourine might be wisdom.
Yeah.
That tambourine might be a different perspective that you're not seeing because you're so in the spotlight. So you need it as well as you bring yourself towards yourself.
Exactly.
You need it. So when you say that, when you feel like, okay, at that time I'm just the backup singer, trust me, there's a role for you. That's why God intended that when I am shining, I must have my partner to be my backup singer, because that's the only way this is going to work out.
Exactly.
You know, it's going to benefit the entire family.
Yes.
But in order for it to work, everybody needs to play their part.
Exactly.
So in society, we're not playing our parts.
Exactly.
And that's why you hear somebody sing louder than the other one is singing this song, the other one is singing that. Because we are so focused on me, and me. It's all about me. If I go in a relationship, it's about what I'm going to get out of this relationship. It's not about the other person. It's always about every single time. Why must we be obedient? Why must we, women, men, is
competing for the same
position.
Our different roles.
Everybody wants to be in the limelight.
Yeah.
You know, men don't want to be men these days. They complain about it.
Yeah.
Women are saying, I want to be a woman, but I don't want to be a woman. I want to be to a certain extent woman, but I also want to be a man woman. You know, it's very confusing because it's like pick one.
Pick. Yeah.
What do you want to do? You know.
Yeah.
So I think that's also hurting and affecting the whole concept of relationships, which then because we've now got the tools, but
Yes.
sometimes we have the tools and we don't know how to use them.
Yeah. And on that tools conversation, I think it goes back to as well the fact that it needs to start with you.
Yeah.
So you having a relationship with God, what does that mean for you? What are your convictions in that relationship with God? And then how does that now play out in all your relationships, whether friendship or a relationship? Because it will still have to play out in a marriage, where you have to put, these are my boundaries, this is what I'm comfortable with, this is what I'm not. But as well, I think sometimes we don't know, like what you're saying, we don't know how to use the tools that we have. Now, if we now have them, we don't know how to use the tools that we have because we're not confident that either we are enough or they will work or our choices are justified. There's a level of this uncertainty that, because at the end of the day, love is actually kind of a risk. Whether we like it or not, there's never going to be a sure case. Even the most loving man, most loving woman, anything can happen. But with that, are we comfortable to say, you know what, I'm going to use these tools like this and I'm confident in them and I'm giving the rest, or I'm giving it to God.
That's true.
Because, yeah.
I you know what, with all this being said, I feel like it's a lot. And there's a term that is constantly being brought up, which is emotional intelligence. And I feel like that's one big skill that I am so vested in. I want to explore what that is in the long run.
Same.
Because for emotional intelligence, I think it also means that it's very important to not jump into conclusions.
Yes.
Because I think that is a big part of emotional intelligence. Which you don't think with your heart. There's literally a verse in the Bible. I think it's I think it's Ecclesiastics.
Yeah.
That I think it's Ecclesiastic. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it's Ecclesiastic 5 that literally tells you. Is it? I'm not sure. That says stay in. Okay, the first bit is like stay in God. But I think there's a verse in the Bible. I forgot it. But I think it is Ecclesiastics that literally states that whatever you do, do not act out of what you feel in your heart or emotions. Don't take decisions from or according to the emotions or how you're feeling.
Wow.
Don't make a decision on that. If you feel a certain way, rather ask the people around you about something. You know, you don't have to say, guys, I'm feeling like this. You can say, guys, in a situation where you can go to the colleague that you know is very wise.
Yes.
You know, go to someone that you know would give you some good feedback, like something for the soul, something wise, not something that you know they're like, girl, you know, something that's not of substance. You know, you don't need that. You know, you don't need that. You can't. You can't in life. Everyone, puma, get puma.
Yo, I don't say I'm pooping without anything. Just pooping.
Yeah. When I can't get when you understand? It's never really anything. So in the Bible, it literally said that when I read that, it was at the same time in my mind I was trying to say, I want to learn more about emotional intelligence.
Yes.
Then I got that verse that says you must not and try not to allow your emotions to rule your decisions and choices. And that will make you more wiser and prudent as well. Because now you need to stand firm in the decision you then make after that. Because that's what you need to understand. That whatever the decision is that you've made, you need to then stand firm on that decision.
And it reminds me of like instances where like even with Job, his friends saying, no, just curse God and die. And his wife being like, why are you going through so much? Just curse God and die. And I think that thing of that's so wise, like if we don't make emotions right, if we don't make our emotions the prime reason why we're making a decision, we're able to make wiser decisions and make decisions that are for the long run, not just for this moment.
I agree. I agree with just concluding all of that in terms of dating and relationship. I found my way of dealing with other human beings,
Mm.
you know. So you would have certain people in your life, they play a certain role in your life.
Yeah.
And that includes your siblings.
True.
You can't exclude your siblings and just put them on the default setting and say just because they're your siblings they're supposed to love you regardless. You know, you can't hurt your siblings and say they love you so it's fine. That's not right. You know, so including your siblings, including your colleagues, there's certain relations that you must put in certain categories if you must. You must understand that there are people that are for you.
Yes.
There are people that you will literally connect with because, my goodness, they are for you. You feel it in your heart. You have conversations with them. You click. It's easy. It's never hard. It's easy. Even when it's hard, it's easy. You understand? Then there's people that you love. You like. You say, yo, I just love so and so. But that person doesn't love you back. That's okay. That's actually okay.
Yeah, because they have every right to.
They have every right to. They don't owe you some sort of love just because you decided to love maybe their character. At any point, they don't have to say to you, oh, I appreciate that. Let's be friends because you like how I do my hair. Let's be friends because you like how I put on my makeup. You like how I dress. They don't owe you that sense of friendship, of belonging just because you like a certain part of them. You don't like all of them.
Yes.
So they don't need to give you all just because you like one portion of it, you know. So you must also understand from that perspective, because see, just because you like how somebody dresses and you constantly say you look lovely today, it does not mean that every time that they see you they have to hug you and thank you and adore you just because you said they know how to put together clothes. You know one part of them. You love one side or one part of them. Why should they give you every part of themselves?
Exactly.
You know, because you're not going to do it, so but you expect somebody else to do it. You know, so there's also those relationships that you must understand that they're just there to admire. You know, there are even colleagues that you like talking to because it's nice. You vibe with them. You know, sometimes you end up oversharing, which you shouldn't, but you vibe with them. But the minute we walk out, we're not friends. It ends. You know, and you shouldn't be crucified for that. They shouldn't be crucified for that because at that time you were having a conversation. It was good, it was well, but that's where it ended. And that's okay. Tomorrow we'll pick it up again the minute I walk through the exit door. You understand? There's nothing wrong with that. You know? And there's nothing wrong with also respecting boundaries of friendships and respecting boundaries of colleagues and so on and so forth. It's like with siblings. Siblings, I feel like if Zethu, I am now in your space. You are now married with your kids. Yes, you're my sibling. I agree 100%. But that does not mean that I must now take advantage of the fact that you are my sibling. And I don't consider the fact that you are now
someone's spouse.
You're now someone's spouse. You're now someone's mom. You know, you're now a matriarch, basically. When you walk into a household, this is all you. You understand? I must not give you your credit for that. No, I must not give you your space for that. Yes, I'm gonna love you. Yes, you're still gonna be my sister. Yes, I'm gonna still joke with you. But when you say it's time for us to do this as a family, don't dismiss it.
Wow.
Don't dismiss it. Don't dismiss little things that can end up drawing a situation where your sibling does not want you in their lives anymore because you don't respect that part of them. You know, you don't want to end up hurting certain relationships just because of you being too friendly, too demanding, too much. Always assess your relationships. That's why I think there's a need for date night. Even as friends, I wish you would have date night for friends.
As friends,
I wish you'd have date night as siblings.
Every month.
I remember my brother's friend. He used to say to me, "Nqobile, at any point when you can, just go out with your siblings and just chill. You know, and in the midst of chilling, just find out how they really, really, really are doing. Like how are you? Not that call that I sometimes make and you just like, I'm fine, okay, cool. Not that WhatsApp chats. Like, tell me how you are really, like spiritually, emotionally, mentally. Are you good in a good place? Do you want to talk about it? Do you think I'm the right person to talk about it? You know, how are you guys doing? You know, he always said make time, because he said it's so sad when one day you see your sibling doing something, and then you're so shocked, like, how? I don't even know she did that. Their friends are like, how? You don't know. She's
know this person
doing that for the past 5 years. You're like, my sister or my brother does that for fun, or they're really good at that, or that's what they see as this. You know, that's very embarrassing to be in a position where your friends know your sibling better than you. So I think we need to invest in all types of relationships.
Yes.
And we need to have date nights for all types of relationships.
I love that. Yeah.
You know, I think that's the most amazing.
Because if you don't set aside that time intentionally, it might never happen.
It might never happen.
Yeah.
And you need to be intentional about it. That's very profound, actually. You need to be very intentional about how you spend your time.
Yes.
And allocate your time to your siblings. Allocate your time to your friends. Allocate your time to your dating life. When you're dating someone, the one thing I've noticed that with dating, the partner that you would need to understand that before he came into your life, you had a life.
With the whole ecosystem.
It was a system. There was someone you would call when there was a system. You had friends. You had people that were your backup. You cannot now put them aside completely to accommodate one person, which we don't know whether they're going to last for 10 years.
And they might leave, and then you are back to
square one.
Spending time with us.
I'm just saying. But no, but you shouldn't do that. You should learn to balance. Yes. Now they'll know it's okay. I'll say it's okay, it's okay. They will respect you and give you your time. They'll understand that, now the hour is not an hour anymore. They're probably going to get 20 minutes out of that hour going forward, you know. But it's a relation that everybody must understand their parts. Everybody play their part, and we'll all get along, and we'll all have a chance, and we'll all work out. That's my feeling towards this in conclusion of dating and everything.
Love
that's
it.
On that.
I love it. That is perfect. That is amazing. Yes, so we must have date nights. Must be intentional. It must have boundaries. Know that it was just a colleague or this is my friend. And even if you love someone, it doesn't mean they'll love you back.
No,
it's okay. And some people you click and it'll be easy. There'll be no forcing and be great.
Remember that the God that lives in you is the reason why you sometimes just love someone for no reason.
Yeah.
You know. So God might just say.
Holy Spirit's like.
The Holy Spirit will literally say, I'm going to put you in Nqobile's life. Yes, Nqobile is your colleague, but there's something in you that I'm going to put that she needs.
Exactly.
You know. So maybe your constant, I like the way you dress, I think you look gorgeous. That's what I need.
I don't even know it.
You don't know it, but that's what I need. I know what it does for me. You know, you appreciate it from a distance, even though I might not say to you, yes, this is what I was going through. And every time when you said this, I might not say that, but it's exactly what I need. When I speak to the Holy Spirit said, don't worry, I'll send someone who's going to fix that for you. You know, so
he's so faithful. It's like a thing you would say. As long as the stuff is up, you guys are gonna win the war. And his hand was getting tight. It's like, okay, I'll bring you Amahuru. We just push it up, and God gives us those people.
He does. He really does.
So date wisely. I don't date wisely, but be scared. But date wisely.
It's like do it, don't do it. But be cautious if you do it.
And get to know yourself. Get to know your
it's very important. It's very important. Well, thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes, guys.
See you on the next episode.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.